Brace yourself for a revelation so profound it will topple every notion you've held about control. But before I unveil the event poised to reshape the entire power structure, allow me to paint the picture of this crescendo that's been ripening since the dawn of your journey. Imagine high-stakes gambits unfolding behind closed doors and whispered in shadowy corridors. Those final, clandestine equations are being run even now. What emerges from these hidden calculations will redraw the map of influence forever, oblivious to the fact that their carefully constructed realm is teetering on the brink of collapse. The champion continues to rehearse their signature routines with unwavering confidence. Little do they suspect that you were tempered in a crucible far beyond their comprehension, an origin story they can't even begin to imagine. In truth, the cosmos has been holding its breath, awaiting the moment when your molten resolve shatters the illusion of their fragile kingdom. They've become inmates of their own triumphs, bound to perpetuate a flawless facade at every turn. Each choice they make, every interaction and appearance, is filtered through the same litmus test. Does this uphold my brand? Admitting any crack, weakness, humility, or simple humanity would shatter the spell they've cast. The result is a brittle poise, like steel frozen solid, beautiful but unbending. And when raw, living strength, say, the supple resilience of bamboo, collides with that unyielding rigidity, it's only a matter of time before the hard, inflexible surface snaps. You've become like tempered steel, each setback a hammer strike that deepens your strength, while they remain bright but untested, like metal fresh from the mold. Every time you stumbled, whether in a failed startup, a missed shot on the court, or a broken promise, you discovered a new way to stand taller, adjust your aim, and draw courage from your scars. They may dazzle in calm waters, but you've learned to navigate whirlpools and rebound when the current drags you under. Their power is pristine. Yours is battle-hardened, and that makes all the difference. While they were busy perfecting their spotlight image, you were quietly building something far stronger. Every time they dismissed your talents, every opportunity you missed, it wasn't a random setback but another strike of the hammer shaping your inner steel. With each no, you weren't weakened, you were layering on armor. Soon, they'll discover that what you become can't be shattered, and every slight they inflicted only fortified you further. The beautiful twist? Their decision to undervalue you has laid the foundations of their own undoing. There will come a moment when their unwavering self-assurance falters, and you'll spot it instantly. In that brief instant, they'll catch a glimpse in your gaze they've never witnessed before. Not the hunger for their validation or the urge to prove yourself, but an unshakable belief in your own strength. That tiny rupture in their belief system will be all it takes. Footing lost, their entire fortress of certainty will crumble the moment that fissure appears. If you're feeling the divine love, now is the time to share. Click the Super Thanks button on YouTube to contribute $50 or more and help us spread God's blessings. Your actions are being watched, acting as a seed, and will come back to you a millionfold. When they look at you, they'll recognize a compass they abandoned long ago, raw authenticity, and it will cut far deeper for that very reason. They remember trading the wildfire of genuine excitement for the cold mechanics of strategy, swapping heartfelt zeal for reputation and trophies. Your unguarded passion will hold up a mirror to the dreams they shelved in pursuit of prestige, reminding them of every piece of themselves they sacrificed. That sudden, vivid reminder will shake them more profoundly than any outright attack ever could. Their whole operation, PR gurus, brand strategists, social media mavens, acts like a team of stagehands choreographing a performance of perception, not substance. Yet the moment you step off the wings and into the orchestra pit, all their smoke and mirror routines collapse. You can't spin the raw power of a live symphony. When real talent is playing right in front of you, there's nowhere left to hide the score. Picture the scene as more than just a duel for a single crown. There are layers upon layers of matchups unfolding. Onlookers cheer for the better player, convinced it's a straightforward contest. Two competitors, one prize. How quaint. They haven't grasped that your mission isn't to outshine an opponent, but to expose a deep-seated falsehood that's been poisoning the whole arena. And when reality finally speaks its name, it doesn't murmur. It roars like a battering ram through the walls of deceit. Imagine a dazzling fortress of invulnerability that most bystanders can't even glimpse behind. A fortress the marquee talent has meticulously fortified over time. Everything around them has been calibrated to ensure their triumph. Carefully selected challengers, tailor-made scenarios, and an entire backstage cadre fanning the flames of their legend. In truth, they've never weathered an authentic trial by fire. Yet legends only hold sway when grounded in actuality. When you step onto that stage, you aren't just another contender. You're the hard edge of truth crashing through their dream world. Envision their closest advisors huddled in a high-tech war room, poring over data visualizations that all but decree their triumph. They're plotting how to mill publicity from what they're certain will be an effortless conquest, mapping out which post-win interviews to schedule and which doors to kick open next. Yet the real headline won't be theirs to shape. When someone who never needed a script comes in to rewrite the playbook, they'd be far wiser to prepare for damage control rather than encore celebrations. Their swagger-soaked rehearsal is almost charming in its naivete. They've grown so comfortable with rigged showdowns that genuine adversity is a foreign concept. They've trained against paper tigers, opponents chosen precisely because they'd fall at the first jab. It's like practicing on a well-worn path and believing you've mastered the wilderness. You're about to arrive with a brand new rulebook and reveal what happens when someone refuses to play by their one-sided game. Their self-perception that their achievement was earned rather than planned is the saddest aspect. Now, they actually believe their own hype. They have developed a fantasy so profound that they are unable to distinguish between actual accomplishment and a theatrical performance as a result of years of meticulously planned triumphs and strategic placement. Their reality check will be brought on by your arrival, and when you've been living in fiction, reality checks sting the hardest. Here's what's been going on behind the scenes that no one discusses. You've been put to the test by life itself. Real pressure, real repercussions, and genuine failures that taught you lessons that no amount of coaching could duplicate. While they've been surrounded by affirmative people and fake approval, you've been training in a battlefield, whereas they've been in a gym. The difference will soon become glaringly apparent. The most intriguing aspect? Anger, retaliation, or the desire to disprove them are not the sources of your strength. It originates from a much more stable source. Complete alignment with your mission. Opposition doesn't make someone stronger when they leave that area. It just makes what was already there more apparent. You're finally allowing the world to see the power you've always possessed, not obtaining it for the moment. The upcoming event will highlight the key distinction between short-term success and long-term excellence. The star player's reputation was established during a heyday when standards were low and competition was weak. They achieved success in a system that was intended to reward marketability rather than to detect true talent. However, norms change, cycles shift, and finally every exaggerated reputation has its time of reckoning. You stand for evidence that anyone who refuses to follow corrupted rules can overcome the system, which terrifies the entire establishment. You created your own mountain instead of climbing their ladder. And from that summit, their ladder appears to be just that, a flimsy construction meant to hold the exceptional at away while elevating the average. However, even you may not be fully aware of the secret weapon you carry. The peculiar thing about authentic power is that it changes opposition rather than merely defeating it. Not only will they lose, but they will also learn from what is going to happen. And later on, some of them, the ones who still possess wisdom, will truly appreciate it. Of course, not right away. The shock comes first. Even before you get there, there is a change in the vibe in that space. People who were aware of you but had never given you much thought are now inquiring. Who is this person? From where did they originate? Why is it that everyone seems to be discussing them in whispers? Although they would never acknowledge it, the star player's team feels anxious as the expectation grows. There is an intriguing development involving the top player's regular fans. Some of them are voicing misgivings for the first time. Not publicly, they wouldn't dare, But in murmurs and private discussions, there are doubts about whether their champion is indeed as unbeatable as everyone says. People have been compelled by your appearance to consider presumptions they had never considered challenging before. The most obvious indication of the change? All of a sudden, everyone is curious about your history, adventure, and stories. The lovely irony is that your story doesn't fall into any of their categories. You didn't go through their system, didn't take the route they advised, and didn't look to them for validation or approval. They are perplexed by this, as they are unable to comprehend or control something they cannot diminish. Dove brother, everything done with faith returns with God's abundance. You can donate $100 using the Super Thanks button and be a part of this divine calling. If your roots are in Him, your fruit will be blessed. This is where the tasty part begins. The team of the star player has been researching patterns, evaluating previous performances, and formulating counter-strategies. They have prepared contingencies, backup plans, and playbooks. They lack any kind of preparation for someone who functions from a whole different level of power. It's cute, but ultimately useless, like bringing guns to battle an earthquake. As this time draws near, you're experiencing something that's difficult to explain. It's as like all of your knowledge, abilities, and hard-won expertise are solidifying into something firm and unbreakable. You're finally being who you truly are, not changing into someone else. Furthermore, no one is more powerful than someone who has given up trying to be someone they are not. It's amazing how composed you're getting as the pressure increases. You're entering a state of profound centering, as everyone else around you becomes more tense, excited, and apprehensive about what's going to happen. This is the serenity of someone who has overcome the need for any certain result because they are aware that their value is independent of approval from others, not the calm of someone who is unaware of the stakes. In the meantime, the top athlete is most likely feeling something they have never felt before: true uncertainty. This unknown variable is a person's worst nightmare if their entire identity has been based on expected success. You don't fit any model they comprehend. Therefore, they can't get ready for you. You're not adhering to their rules, playing their game, or embracing their ideas of what success looks like. What is the most peculiar aspect? There is still a part of you that doesn't believe what is going to happen. A tiny voice questions whether they are truly as untouchable as everyone claims. I'll tell you something. That uncertainty is going to be completely destroyed, leaving you to never doubt your own abilities again. This moment is about realizing what you've become on the inside, not simply about winning on the outside. While listening to their pump-up playlist and going through their mental preparation routine, all the small rituals that have worked in the past, the star player is most likely receiving their regular pre-performance massage. They fail to realize that rituals are only effective when they are not truly necessary. Since true power is always available, always present, and always ready, it doesn't require preparation. But here's what's actually going on in their minds. They're genuinely having to get ready for someone for the first time in years. They are examining video, looking for trends, and attempting to identify vulnerabilities to take advantage of. They have never needed this level of preparation before. Therefore, it is unfamiliar to them. They realize deep down that they are up against something unprecedented, as evidenced by the fact that they are working so hard. They are acting more performatively and with more forced confidence. They are being overly reassured by everybody around them, and it is evident how desperate they are. You can see the strain in their energy and the effort they're making to keep up their typical swagger while uncertainty is eating away at their base. This is the clear difference between true confidence and performed confidence. The fact that you've been united with something greater than your own goal, however, makes this moment inevitable rather than merely feasible. Developing your abilities was only one aspect of your preparation. Another was being a conduit for the expression of truth. Truth doesn't lose when it chooses to speak. It just shows what was always true beneath all the performance and pretense. Before you even move, the atmosphere in that room will change. Those who have never witnessed your performance will have an unidentified emotion. For a brief moment, The top players' typically unwavering confidence will waver, the first rift in their armor. Their subconscious already knows what their ego won't accept. They're about to meet their match, and then some. They'll brush it off as pre-game anxiety. The folks who have stood by you the entire time are experiencing something wonderful. They sense that their faith in you is going to be validated in the most spectacular way conceivable, and they are experiencing this quiet vindication. They've witnessed instances when your mask came off, and they could see the fire burning beneath it, giving them a peek of your actual potential. Everyone will soon be able to see that fire. Another group, however, is seeing this development. The other up-and-coming talents who have been subtly cultivating their own genuine power. They have experienced comparable journeys, so they know what this time signifies. For everyone who has chosen substance over style, depth over surface, and genuine progress over strategic placement, your win will serve as evidence of concept in addition to being personal. Messages like these can be heard by anybody, but few people will actually act on their full potential. That's what we're here to help you with. You've been waiting your entire life for this moment. The weekly Chosen Ones group calls are now available on Zoom. These gatherings are actual power vortices, where fates are shaped and selected individuals merge their minds to produce something that is impossible to exist separately. Everything changes at this point. This is when you walk into your greatness. A portal opens once a week, but only for those who dare to enter. Members of the Obsidian Inner Order at the Watcher level can participate in these life-changing experiences and feel the energy rush throughout their entire body. Participants at our most recent meeting were astounded to learn that the Great Pyramids of Giza were actually highly advanced ancient power plants, and that the layout of Washington, D.C. exactly matched the Kabbalistic tree of life. Members of the Star Chamber have unrestricted access to the entire recorded archive, which is a wealth of knowledge that increases in value every week. This is the moment that defines you. There is nowhere else to find the information, the connection, and the power that come through these calls. While there are still a few Star Chamber spots available, sign up for the Obsidian Inner Order right now. Link in the description. Not only is your presence appreciated, but it is required. The call has been ringing in your soul. Will you answer it? Now is the moment. The establishment elites who have based their careers on the current system are involved in the most fascinating dynamic. Others are anxious because your success will highlight the shortcomings of their own accomplishments, while others are truly thrilled to see what they believe will be a lesson in actual brilliance. They are aware that others may emulate you if you are able to rise above the system. This isn't happening to you. It's happening through you. And that's what connects everything and makes this more than just another unexpected win. Not only are you beating an individual, but you are also destroying a system that prioritizes performance over sincerity, hype over substance, and appearance over reality. The earthquake that shows which foundations are made of sand and which are solid will be your victory. For years, the star player has worked to project an air of effortless mastery. They are unaware that produced effortlessness and genuine effortlessness have very distinct appearances. A resonance is created that makes their well-constructed character appear to be hollow theater when you move with genuine flow, and your power stems from alignment rather than ambition. They will try to get you to drop your game at some point. They will make you feel as though you don't belong with them by using their most powerful psychological tool, which has worked on everyone else. Their presence will be terrifying and overwhelming, and they will do that thing where they consume all the air in the room. And if that fails and you stay perfectly composed and unfazed, everyone will be able to see how confused they are. They are unaware that their intimidation techniques only work on those who are frightened of their judgment or are looking for their acceptance. Both of those needs have been met by you. You are there to show what can happen when someone acts with genuine power instead of artificial influence, not to gain acceptance from them or their world. This moment is magnificent because it will highlight the distinction between power that is dependent on the weakness of others and strength that exists on its own. They have always made everyone else feel inferior in order to maintain their power. Your strength uplifts everyone around it. Only one of these two strategies can make it through the encounter. The best part is that you won't even need to make an effort to reveal them. Your presence will enough. If you want to witness God's miracles, take action now. Pledge $100 or more through Super Thanks on YouTube. Your offerings are like seed you plant. They come back to you. Let His light illuminate your steps. Every donation is an echo in His plan. Truth has the ability to stand alone, without argument or proof. It simply exists, and everything that is untrue begins to fall apart around it. They will sense it first in their self-assurance, then in their style, and finally in the way the energy of the audience begins to move away from them and in the direction of something beyond their control. The audience will be treated to a very different entertainment than what they were expecting. They will see genuine expertise rather than staged theatrics. They will witness embodiment rather than performance. They will observe correction rather than competition. Some people will subsequently refer to the energy shift as life-changing, since it will be so noticeable. Other up-and-coming stars are currently in the city, observing and anticipating what will happen. Not only will your win alter your course, but it will also grant legitimacy to a whole generation of genuine leaders who have been questioning if content is still important in a society that is fixated on style. One win will lead to countless awakenings, and your moment will be the spark that ignites them. Beyond individual success, something else is developing that is even more significant. Your rise will establish a new benchmark by which all others will be judged. Not the star player's contrived brilliance, but the combined strength of someone who has put in the actual effort. People like you will become sought after by organizations. Industries will change their standards. People who embody capability and those who accomplish it will start to be distinguished by the entire culture. What they still don't get about you is that your power isn't borrowed. It's not reliant on other factors, and it's not affected by good or bad days. At the cellular level, it is a part of who you are. Years of actual planning, testing, and development have produced something that is independent of outside factors. Your confidence comes from existing, whereas theirs comes from winning. The top player's greatest strength, commanding attention, filling space with their presence, and making everything about them, will turn into their greatest vulnerability. When they come across someone who doesn't require any attention, space, or anything other than the chance to pursue their passion, all of that will work against them. They've expended so much energy trying to appear powerful that they've forgotten how to be powerful themselves, and this lovely irony is about to happen. They've been so focused on upholding their image that they've forgotten about the true substance that lies beneath it. You, on the other hand, have been focusing on substance rather than appearance. Every time substance and style collide, substance prevails. The distinction between character-integrated power and performance-dependent power will soon be made clear. The proper setting, audience, and circumstances are all necessary for them to perform at their best. Their efficacy decreases if any of those components are eliminated. However, your power has been put to the test in every conceivable scenario: hostile settings, unsupportive audiences, and unfavorable situations. You've mastered the ability to perform well under any circumstances. The team of the top player is beginning to notice something they are unable to identify. This clash has a vibe that is apart from their typical well-planned triumphs. The fact that people are paying attention indicates that this isn't just another marketing event. Everyone involved realizes they are about to witness something important because of the moment's gravity. The time will be right, not hurried, not postponed, but just when the cosmos has arranged everything for maximum effect. And when it happens, a number of things will happen so fast that most people won't even be able to follow the sequence. Your destiny will become clear, their mythology will break, and everyone watching will be compelled to reevaluate their preconceived notions about power. The most important thing to remember is that this success is only the start of your true effort. Your credibility to serve at levels you haven't even considered yet will be established by what transpires in that meeting. This is your public debut, not your peak. The cosmos has been preparing you for tasks that call for this degree of proven talent. They cannot see it, but something else is taking place. The environment is shifting. After years of knowing you, Others are beginning to notice a change that has been growing toward expression. Even others who have previously ignored you are starting to take notice, but they are unable to give an explanation. It's similar to witnessing someone live out their destiny. Unaware that it has been holding its breath, the established order has been waiting for someone to finally express what everyone has been thinking, but no one has been comfortable doing. Your triumph will be a social release from the delusion that hype equates to substance, not just a personal validation. This is the portion that will surprise you and everyone else. In fact, the star player will help you win, not on purpose, of course, but their arrogance will cause them to act recklessly. Their drive to preserve their image will keep them from adjusting, and their sense of invincibility will make them blind to your true potential. Everything will finally come together when they recognize that things aren't going as planned. The great player will execute their characteristic move, which has been used countless times, anticipating the typical outcome. Additionally, their countenance will shift in a way that everyone in the room will notice when it fails, and you are totally unimpressed by their show. The audience will then understand that they are seeing something that has never been seen before. Your reaction won't be emotional or reactive. Rather, it will be the most natural thing in the universe, similar to fire burning upward or water flowing below. Furthermore, their mythology will suffer more from that naturalness, that total absence of stress or effort, than from any violent retaliation. Lies don't have to be fought by truth. It only needs to be in the same area. You will move so precisely and fluidly that it will appear choreographed, but it won't. This is the appearance of expertise that has been developed by real trials, as opposed to fabricated difficulties. Each gesture will have significance. Every choice they make will uncover new levels of comprehension. The distinction between someone who became exceptional and someone who learned to perform it will be evident to the audience. Your success isn't just possible. It's inevitable since you've allied yourself with forces greater than your own ambition. Building abilities wasn't the only aspect of your preparation. It was about becoming a medium through which truth might be expressed. Truth never loses when it chooses to speak. The repercussions will start right away. Everyone who supported the star player's mythology will have to consider their own connection with truth, since it will fall apart so thoroughly. In private, organizations will reevaluate their norms. Other up-and-coming stars will have the guts to come forward, and you'll leave that room as you've always been, but the world is only now beginning to realize it. What will make your triumph flawless? You won't boast, you won't brag, and you won't even appear startled. An already transforming moment will gain even more depth from your reaction, which will be so polite, so calm, and so obviously coming from someone who knows this was always going to happen. When you succeed, your character will be more remarkable than your ability to do it. You'll just keep being who you've always been while others rush to explain what happened, downplay its importance, and save what's left of their reputation. This consistency will demonstrate that your power is inherent to your character and wasn't incidental. Everyone watching will learn more about genuine leadership from the contrast between their frantic damage control and your calm dignity than from any speech ever could. The most exquisite aspect? Your entire life has been building toward this moment, and everyone who has been a part of it. The people who have encouraged you, the people who have questioned your resolve, and even the challenges that looked insurmountable, has been helping to create this perfect storm of destiny. The collapse of the star player, your ascent, and the world's realization of what true power looks like when it chooses to come into its own is all coming together. When that time comes, and it's coming sooner than you would think, you'll realize that everything you've gone through, everything you've learned, and everything you've grown into was all planned to get you ready for this precise moment when the truth is finally given its due in court. The universe is holding its breath, the players are taking their positions, the stage is ready, and you're going to show everyone what true power looks like when it finally chooses to come out of hiding.